Hi, it's Marc Zienkiewicz, and welcome to the podcast this week. It is May 14th, 2020. My guest this week is Tom Greaves. He is president of the Manitoba-based Pitura Seeds. I interviewed him last week about something the company is doing called the Pitura Spring Olympics. The goal of the Spring Olympics is to raise money for charity and also to boost morale among the Pitura Seeds staff in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Enjoy. Tom, thank you so much for joining me today. I've been following your Pitura Spring Olympics via the Pitura Seeds Twitter account. Can you explain to the listeners exactly what you guys are doing?
I appreciate the opportunity to sort of talk about it. It was an idea, to be very honest, that we came up with right before spring. We were looking at what things could we do to engage our staff and create a little bit more of a lighter environment in such a challenging time. Between COVID, the stress of spring seeding coming up for a lot of our growers, the lack of sports. There was just a lot of things that were weighing on a lot of people's minds, and so it actually came from the idea of lack of sports. We were thinking, well, maybe there's a way that we could create something to keep people interested. And in all reality, to keep our team interested. So we came up with this idea of the Pitura Spring Olympics. And what it is it's a 5-week challenge. We broke our entire team into 2 teams. The one team is called Team Early Bird, which I'm part of, and Team Get It Done. And we didn't quite have a full even split between our teams, so we even had to include our mascot Farley, which is my dog that comes to work with me every day, onto one of the teams. But the goal behind it was we came up with a point system of things that happen in our yard in spring operations that would allow our staff to collect points throughout the season for all kinds of tasks, whether it was the most seeded acres for the day, or helping out a team member with cleaning up a spill. It can be a whole bunch of different things, along with a couple of negative points as well. So if you get a sunburn, or if you spill a little bit of seed treatment on your gloves or something along those lines, we also want, or slept in, we wanted to have a little bit of a negative thing. But the reality is it's all in fun, what we've developed here.
So the opening ceremony was on April 27th. How long is it going on for?
So it's going over 5 weeks, and we're updating it on Twitter regularly and trying to provide some content off of it. And to be very honest, our team is very engaged in it, and they're loving it. We've got an extremely competitive group here. And people are loving racking up the points, and that's what we really wanted at the end of the day, just to create a little bit of a lighter environment in a heavy time.
Yeah, it is definitely a heavy time right now, as you say, for a lot of people. When you came up with this, what was the experience at Pitura Seeds? What were people going through that made you want to do something like this?
Yeah, I think in all reality, there's all kinds of changes in our businesses as a result of COVID. We had staff working from home. We had to create different zones within our operation to keep separation going into spring. And the reality of the typical spring pickup for a customer at Pitura Seeds compared to previous years is completely different this year. People aren't allowed into our office, and it's extremely different, all the processes that we've had to put in place. And you create all of these, but the reality is that we have a very caring group here, and everyone does need some people interaction as well. So when we were looking at it, we were looking at for our staff, but also for our customers. How can we take these new procedures and day-to-day activities that we have to do differently, and just create a way for us all to be able to connect still. And that's partly where some of this came from, was there's new ways that we have to connect. Some of that is through social media, but then also within our team, finding a way, even though we're maybe connecting on video chats or throughout on the CBs in our yard, finding ways that we can really come together still. And this just seemed like a great way for us to have a common goal working towards, other than just serving our customers to the best of our ability. It created a little bit of a lighter environment to it.
Now, as I interview you, you are in day 11 of this. What is the score?
We are in a dead heat, 150 points for Team Early Bird and 250 points for Team Get It Done. And it's interesting, it's all the team members are collecting points. There's a couple of team members on each team that are maybe driving a few more points. On Team Early Bird, we have Logan, which he's a rookie. He's brand new to our team this year, and he's got a lot of points racked up, and a lot of them are in the after hours health improvement, bike, workout, run, 8 hours of sleep, which I think is great, because that category was specifically designed to make sure that we're treating ourselves well in this busy time. Just because we're at work and pushing really hard, the goal is to make sure we're taking care of ourselves at the same time in these challenging times. So great to see him with that big lead. And then on Team Get It Done, we've got actually Laird Lamperts. He is leading there, and I think it's mainly because he's getting some shout outs on Twitter. So I might just put a plug in here. If anyone wants to put a few more plugs in for Team Early Bird, that would help our team out get a few more points. That would be great.
Well, I imagine that social media must add a whole new dimension to this.
It's interesting. We've got sort of a strategy we're putting forward, how we're managing it, but part of this is also really focused on highlighting our staff. We do have what we call our Olympian profile, which we do a few every week, and the goal behind that is to pull out and highlight some of our amazing staff here and all the work that they're doing, and just give a little bit more insight to the people that the customers that come onto the yard that don't have that face-to-face interaction now. They may have to be by their truck and they see someone over by the treater treating for them. Allow them to understand who that person is and their experience with Pitura Seeds. And it's just a great way for us to be able to also say a little bit of a thank you to our staff on social media, because we're very fortunate to have such an amazing staff here. That they're the ones that drive our business, and they're the whole reason that we are where we are.
Now, I understand, Tom, that this is also going to benefit charity at the end of the day?
The winning team is going to be able to choose their charity of choice for who they want to donate towards, which is excellent. And I'm really excited about some of the things coming down in the coming weeks. We've got some neat challenges and some fun things that we're going to put out there for everyone on Twitter and for our team to participate in.
For updates, stay tuned to the Pitura Seed Service Twitter account at Pitura Seeds. As of this week, Team Get It Done has pulled ahead by 25 points. Thanks for tuning in today. If you or your business is doing something like this to help cope with the COVID-19 pandemic, please let us know. You can go to our website and fill out the contact form. For more great podcasts, visit germination.ca.